Hi everyone, welcome back to my filming of my podcast. It's been a little bit since Vlogmas, since I got a chance to share some of my updates and things I've been working on because I've been traveling. So we just got back from Peru and we had a really wonderful time. We were there visiting my husband's extended family. So his aunts, his grandmother lives there, a lot of his cousins, all on his mother's side. So it was really nice to spend time with his mom and dad and sister, Angela, because they live in New Jersey, so we don't get to see them all that often. And so we were there for about 12 days, staying in a place called Punta Hermosa, which is about an hour outside of Lima, which is the major city in Peru. And we spent a few days in Lima exploring the city, lots of time at the beach, just kind of relaxing, enjoying some warmer weather. It's their summer when it's our winter, so it's a perfect place to travel to during these colder months here in Michigan. And we just had a really nice time. The food there is so good and so different than here. It's unlike anything you get to eat here in the US, so the flavors are just so nice. A lot of potato dishes, citrus is really common in use, like limes, limon, which is like a smaller lemon. We had things like causa and taku, and which is like a stir-fried beef. It's probably my favorite dish, but after a few days, my stomach was just like, I need something new. So I moved my dishes around and with the things I chose to eat, but we just had a really nice time. I really enjoy going there and getting to spend time with family. So now this week has just been trying to get myself back in a routine and back to a sense of normal. So many house chores, so much laundry. But we're catching up on it, and we're visiting my mom and brother and dad this weekend over in Boyne City. So we'll get to see them and share stories about our trip. My knitting has been going really well. I actually finished the first piece of the Let's Dance sweater, which is the test knit I've been working on. It gets released next week, so if you're interested in knitting this, it's called Let's Dance, which I think is a David Bowie song. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it is so pretty. It hasn't been blocked yet, so it will like kind of stretch out a little bit and fill in with all the detailed cabling. But I'm really thrilled with the way this turned out. The yarn I've been using is a yarn from what they call the Fiber Company, which is a brand. They're based out of the UK, and they do a really good job sourcing their fiber in very specific blends. This is 100% lamb's wool, so it's definitely like a little bit more rustic than a superwash merino or something, but I like that about it. It has just like, it's super soft. Like I don't find it itchy at all, but I like rustic yarns personally. I really like the natural feel of yarn. And I think what's nice about it is it gives such a beautiful structure to those cables. Like they're so dimensional and they really pop out, and the stitch definition is great with this. So yarn choice wise, I'm really happy, and I bought this from my local yarn store, Leelanau Fiber, here in Suns Bay, which is just about 20 minutes down the lake from where I live. And Diane helped me pick out this yarn, and I'm just very thrilled with it. I can't wait to block this, but my plan is just to keep all variables the same. I like to block everything at once, and I would advise everyone to do that. I mean, you can try to block things individually, but I think if you're trying, temperature of water, how long it soaks, the soap you use, all of those variables like take into play how something's gonna block out. So my plan is to block these all together, probably in my bathtub or something, because there's gonna be like, so what this sweater is it's done in pieces. So I should have explained that this is the back panel, okay? And it's a drop shoulder design, right? And then I'm working on the front panel right now. And then I'm probably like 6 or 7 inches on the front piece. And then I have sleeves to do. So there still is a good amount to do. But one thing I have found is now that I've gotten really used to reading charts like this and cables like this, everything was new to me in the beginning. So I do feel as though I'm chugging along faster on it now that I've gotten started, which is exciting. So yeah, the project's going great. I wanted to share a few things fiber related that I got in Peru while I was there, so I figured we could do that now. But yeah, Let's Dance is kind of my priority knit. Like, I am getting that feeling to cast on other things, but I have a sock I've been working on here and there, which is providing me comfort. I still have my Advent project, but that one is almost on the same level of focus as this, and so the test knit sweater has kind of taken precedence. That's one of those longer lasting Advent projects where it's 25 mini skeins, so it's a good amount of yarn, and I'm okay if that takes a little bit more time. I still have a lot of lingering projects like my West Knits shawl, my Dragon Lore shawl, what else was there? The blanket that I've been working on for like 2-3 years. So, I mean, there's things to do, but knitting is a joy for me, so I'm not putting pressure on myself to finish everything all the time. This project has been really engaging. It takes my mind off of things. The cables are complicated, so I don't think I've actually ever knit something this intense, just from a standpoint of like knit structure. The shaping of it isn't challenging, which I think is why it doesn't intimidate me as much. Structurally, it's complicated because of the cables, but as far as the shaping of it, it's just you're knitting straight and then you do your decreases for the neckline. And I thought the neckline was going to be a lot more challenging than it was, and it wasn't. So it was like, it's cool when you reach a point in your knitting where things aren't as scary as they once were. I think that just shows growth, and that's what it's all about. So yeah, that's what I'm bringing this weekend with me. I'm going to share a little bit about my upcoming project plans and things I want to work on or focus on. So I'll do that after I show the fun stuff. So this is the yarn that I purchased when I was in Peru. It's called Camila. It's a 74% baby alpaca yarn with 18% nylon and 8% wool. It's really soft. It feels amazing, and I like that it still has a little bit of structure to it. It's actually like a chain stitched, or I guess you would say like a crocheted chain yarn. So if you look closely, it's almost like braided with a few strands. But what I like about that is it's really light and like airy feeling. So it's almost like if you were to hold something with a mohair, it provides that like air between the yarns. And then it's a little stretchy too. So I'm curious what that means for the integrity of the sweater, because this has a little bounce to it. But I'm really pleased with the color is like exactly like the high-end designer sweater that I want in my closet, right? So it's just like that perfect caramely tone that I think will be perfect. So I bought like 7 or 8 skeins of this in Peru, and spent, each one was around $6 from the Soleil conversion. So it was actually a really good price. Everything in Peru is a little bit less expensive than here in the US, just with the value of our dollar compared to their Soleil. So I was able to get a lot for not much, which, I mean, I was supporting a small business. I mean, this is a larger yarn manufacturer, but I took a class, so I'll explain where I got this. So I went to a crochet class that my mother-in-law found for me at this place called Mundo Alpaca, which was an alpaca kind of experience, small museum, and it was really cool. It was right in downtown Lima, and when you walked in, they had a lot of information about alpacas and the fiber and where they come from in Peru. And then they had 3 different stores under the Michelle group, which was like Patapampa, Soul Alpaca, and one other I'm forgetting the name of. But they are high-end designers making high-end alpaca items. So that company as a whole created this like alpaca museum experience. So they had like a VR headset which you could put on and see all these alpacas like in the fields of the mountain region of Peru, which was really cool to see. You felt like you were there. Then they had like different samples of work done with alpaca. They had various information about like how throughout time in Peru alpacas have been used, and like when they started to realize they could use the fiber to provide as a material, a raw material to use for fiber arts, and to create like protection for them and warmth. So that was really cool. Then part of the store, so in the back of the store, you saw like all the beautiful high-end garments done with alpaca. So like beautiful sweaters, gloves, hats, everything you can imagine. I didn't buy any of those those items. I enjoyed looking at them. And then in the back of the store, they had the yarn store. So Michelle Group has their own yarn that they are creating, that they use to create their own items, but then also for handcrafters like myself. So that's where I purchased these 8 skeins of yarn, and I was really excited about it. And that's where I had my crochet class. So my crochet teacher was really sweet. She walked me through all the different crochet stitches, like single crochet, double crochet. I think we did triple crochet. We did a magic loop to kind of learn how you can start working in the round. I mean, I've really only crocheted a granny square by watching like a YouTube video 10 million times. So my experience with crochet is like very novice. So it was really nice to have that experience with someone. Her primary language was Spanish, but she spoke great English, and I would even speak back with her in Spanish, just to practice my Spanish speaking. So that was kind of fun as well. So we sat together there for about 2 hours working on the work that she was teaching me, and I bought a few skeins of yarn just to practice the crochet with. It was from their collection, Erica. So the brand is called Tejer is Cool, which means knitting is cool. So I kind of love that. I think it's really sweet. Their branding's really nice too, like a cute little label, and this yarn is super soft. So this is just, I think it's made in, everything's made in Peru for Michelle. But this is Peruvian wool and alpaca. So it's 35% alpaca and then 65% Peruvian wool. So it's a very nice yarn, and I bought it in 3 nice neutral colors, which I figured I could use for some small type of crochet project. So I really bought these just to practice for the class. And I'm really happy with the quality of their yarns. Then the other thing I got at the market, which I was excited about, was my new knitting bag, which is a little different than what you would expect, but it is a basket, which I can put all my yarn in, and it has this adorable little latch, and this technique is a basket weaving technique, and my aunt, Marcos's aunt, Tia Pilar, she taught me a little bit about how to make things like this. We did a little bit of sampling with material that she had purchased, and I'm really happy with this basket purchase from the market. I think it was the equivalent of around $30 or $40 US. It's like really well made and sturdy. My mother-in-law was saying this is kind of what her lunch basket was when she was growing up in Peru, so I thought that was kind of sweet. I love it. I mean, maybe this summer I would actually use it to put things in to go to work for teaching, like maybe some snacks for the day, maybe my lunch, who knows. So this basket will definitely have multiple uses. I think it's a great example of their, technique of weaving with this raw material. So yeah, that was my other exciting purchase. Then I purchased a really beautiful table runner and a weaving. So maybe I'll share those in the next podcast, so you guys can see. The next kind of thoughts I'm having is like, I know I have some lingering projects, but I don't really see myself picking up my Stephen West shawl anytime soon. I feel as though it's a little intimidating for the amount of like mind work it would take. Right now my focus is really on getting the Let's Dance done. That's like a strong goal of mine. I've really enjoyed test knitting it. I've provided the designer with a lot of feedback and kind of explained to her that it was taking me a lot longer than I thought, just because I'm not the fastest knitter and I'm not the most experienced with cables. So it just, to make sure I'm doing it right, I have to stay very focused and work line by line by line. So slowly I make progress on it. And she's been very kind about that, and she's just excited to have some feedback on the test knit, and I posted photos to the Ravelry. So that's just like all really exciting. I've loved helping her and being part of the test knit. I do think it would be really great if I could finish my Malabrigo slip stitch blanket. That would be one worth getting done. It's been a long-term project, and before I start the next blanket I want to start, I should probably finish the one that's taken me 2 to 3 years. So the next project I do want to start, I'll share with you, is a crochet blanket with all of my fun, crazy minis from, what was the brand called? It was my advent calendar. I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on it now. I did 25 days of Vlogmas and now I can't remember the name of this yarn, but typical. Yeah, so this yarn is just really fun and I want to do a crochet blanket with it. So just little stripes, and when the stripe is done, I just move on to the next color. So I don't know much about crochet other than the class I just took. I have a book here that I purchased from Barnes & Noble's years ago. It has great just like introductions to all the stitches, single crochet, half crochet, all of the things. So not exactly sure what stitch I'll do, but I have a feeling that whatever I decide, the yarn is going to be doing all the work for me. It's just such a beautiful collection of yarns from the advent calendar. And then I got this Black Pearl Magic needle holder probably a year ago or so, and I didn't really know what to find a use for it. I thought it was going to be for my interchangeables, but they just didn't fit as nicely in here as I had assumed maybe. And so I found the perfect use for it now, and it's for my crochet hooks. So I purchased these crochet hooks from Hobby Lobby because I just wanted something introductory, not that expensive, to start trying the technique of crochet because I'm so new to it. And I also was finding that I didn't really know my gauge with crochet, so having like all the sizes for now is just really nice. They're like a plastic, which I'm not sure if I'm gonna love. I'm sure once I get more into crochet, I will invest into a nicer set from my local yarn store, and I could always donate these ones or keep them as spares if I like using them. So this case is awesome for it. And then it has little like plastic sleeves with like a zipper that you could put little notions into. So I think this is going to be the perfect little crochet thing I can bring to all my projects. So that's kind of the plans for upcoming things. I know that if I can get Let's Dance done, it'll take a lot of weight off of my shoulders just to like like have that project, finishing a project high. And so I'm awaiting that. I finished 2 pairs of socks last month. I finished my Advent socks and I finished my watercolor socks, which was like that really pretty soft yellow pair, and then my Advent striped socks. And I'm really pleased with both of the ways those turned out. Just like very comfortable with sock knitting now. I believe now I've knit 3 to 4 pairs of socks. My yarn collection is growing ever more drastically, and I need to be a little more mindful about what I'm buying and what for, so I'll start to do that. I have a box from Super Glow Yarn I'm expecting. It was their Millennial Lane collection, and I thought it sounded so fun. It was all about the 90s and sleepovers and like CDs and the Backstreet Boys and like just all the things that kind of define growing up during that time. I was born in 1993. And so I really connected to that box that she was doing a limited time run of. So I'm awaiting that. So when that comes in, maybe we'll do like a little unboxing, or I'll at least show you what I got during the podcast. So that'll be fun. I'm going to Florida in a week. So I'll definitely film next week, but maybe not the week I'm in Florida. I'm going to Florida with my father. He's recovering from his hip surgery, which wasn't too long ago, but he kind of wanted to just go somewhere warmer, and invited my husband and I to come along with him. So we're going to do Disney for a couple days and just enjoy being at the pool and at the condo with him. So we're looking forward to that. So I'll see you all next week. Thanks so much for watching, and happy knitting.